Every Saturday morning, I've been teaching Torah study. It's so much fun. Some of you know you're there with me. Great people, great conversation, best way to spend Shabbat. If I wanted to begin my teaching every week with the exact same phrase, I could, because basically every Torah portion over the summer can be summed up with these 4 words. We are almost there. Every week, the Israelites are almost in the Promised Land. After 40 years of sweating it out in the desert, there we are on a mountaintop in Jordan, peering into the Promised Land on the precipice of fulfilling our destiny. Several weeks of Torah is a long time to almost be somewhere. But we're Jews, and we know how to endure things. I'm wondering if that idea resonates with anyone, of being almost somewhere. It does for me. I feel like we're almost at the start of school, a huge moment for parents and children and our city. We are almost at the high holidays, a huge moment for our community and our people. As a synagogue, we are almost at the launch of religious school. As a country, we are almost at an election. And as a human race, God willing, we are almost in a new phase of vaccine trials. We are almost there. I have a very special relationship with the Torah portions over the summer. They're not exactly the easiest portions, and they're definitely not known as the most fun. They don't have the dramatic figures of Genesis or the iconic narratives of Exodus. We don't see the creation of the world or the parting of the sea, but nonetheless, these are our Torah portions, and I love them. They're not really about story. They're definitely not about character development. Instead, we watch Israel figure out the details of law and order, about how to be a people and a civilization. When I look back at them, I think overall, what these parshiot are really about is anticipation, about that sense of almost being a people, of getting very close to something profound. In fact, if you think about it, the entire Torah portion is about anticipation. Every week, we make our slow journey to the Promised Land. Like some sort of theological foreplay, we hope we will get there. We hope we will enter that fertile land flowing with milk and honey. It makes me think of movies where you can't wait to see how it ends, but you also sort of enjoy waiting in suspense. You want it to end, but you also don't. This season, directly before the high holidays, has that same feeling of intense anticipation. We are almost in a new year, and I, for one, am looking forward to it. We almost have a fresh start and a clean slate. Maybe we are almost done with this horrible thing in our world. Who knows? Do we dare to even imagine that? Or maybe we are anticipating yet another year of this dreck. In either case, how can we make use of our anticipation? The Jewish calendar dedicates an entire month to this anticipatory season called Elul. Basically, Judaism tells us how to get ready for the holidays. It tells us what to do with this anticipatory time in 3 steps. Step 1, Shiva. The first man to conquer Mount Everest was Sir Edmund Hillary. He tried to summit the mountain, and he was almost there, but he failed to achieve his goal on his first try. When speaking to the Science Academy in England after this disappointment, he paused, stared at the mural on the wall of Mount Everest, and exclaimed, "Next time, I will succeed, for I am still growing, and you have stopped growing." And he did just that. He succeeded. He went beyond almost there. He got there. Teshuvah is about that. It's about growth. It's about trying to grow, especially after failure. Performing Teshuvah reminds us that we are not stuck, stagnant, or static. Instead, we are constantly engaged in kinesthetics. We are shifting, evolving, maturing. Step 2, tefillah, prayer. Good job. You're doing it right now. We call out for so many things. to help ourselves, to help our loved ones, to help our people, to help our world. We ask for healing, for wholeness, and forgiveness. On the high holy days, we say these words of poetry to God. For we are the clay, and you are the potter. We are the sheep, you are the shepherd. We are your people, and you are our God. It is possible that prayer really can change things. If we are so certain that it won't, why do we even bother? Why do we bother making a Misha Berach for healing or saying Kaddish for a loved one? We can't just be talking to ourselves. We must call out to God, that celestial potter, praying to be molded in the image of the divine by those artisanal hands, even and especially in these times of turmoil. 3, last but certainly not least, to achieve the change mandated by the month of Elul, we must give tzedakah. If teshuvah is looking inward and tefillah is calling upward, then tzedakah is reaching outward to others. Tzedakah is not equal to charity. That is to say, we just don't give it out of the goodness of our hearts. We give tzedakah because we are required to pursue tzedek, justice. After all, it's Judaism that teaches tzedek, tzedek tirdof, justice, justice you shall pursue. It's Judaism that preaches empathy for others. Remember the widow, the orphan, and the stranger, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. Judaism coined the phrase, ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha, love your neighbor as yourself. The rest is commentary. It's the Hebrew prophet Micah that taught us that God requires that we do justly, perform acts of loving kindness, and walk humbly with our God. It's Judaism that birthed the phrase, let justice well up like waters and righteousness as a mighty stream. Step 3 is a fight for justice. That can mean so many things right now. Do one and do it seriously. On the high holy days, we say the words Teshuvah, Tefillah, Utzedakah, Me'avarim et Roa HaGezerah, that repentance, prayer, and tzedakah temper the severe decree. This month, as we stand still waiting to get to that new spot, to our own promised land, is the time to ready ourselves for the Chagim by focusing on each of these acts. Let's make use of our anticipation so that, like the Israelites, we too can reach that promised land. Shabbat Shalom.